Due to the graphic nature of this program, viewer discretion is advised.
Just so you guys are aware, in Oregon, you can walk around completely naked.
She walked straight up to us. I'm sitting with my little kid. She
Right.
says, look at my body, my bare naked vagina right in front of you.
Of it.
So you can expose yourself to children in Oregon. If it's the laws that we have here, or if it's you guys not having a willingness to do something about it.
It's the laws that we have here.
As far as I'm concerned, you guys are completely fucking useless pigs. This is ridiculous.
On June 4th, 2024, police in Bend, Oregon responded to a report of a naked woman approaching a family in their front yard.
Hello. Okay, I'm Officer Avery at the NPD, just, my camera's on.
That's fine.
She lives next door?
You guys have been here a lot of times for them before.
Okay. What's her name?
Her name? That's what they told me, I don't know. Yeah, her name.
Okay. So, what happened?
We were sitting over here, three of us, my wife and my 2-year-old boy, and she came walking through the yard over by my truck, took a left from up here, completely naked, besides a shirt which was like draping like this, unbuttoned.
Yeah.
With her vagina out and everything right in front of my little kid, and I quickly covered his eyes.
Okay.
Never seen
She
anything like
knocked
that
on my
before.
front door too, and it's like, open the, whoa, headlights are on.
Earlier
Yeah.
though.
So
Okay.
I heard,
And does she live in?
No, in the building upstairs
Oh,
over here.
okay. Perfect. I'm going to wait for my partner to get here.
yeah,
So,
good idea.
just so you guys are aware, in Oregon, you can walk around completely naked. There's no law against it, as long as you're not doing it. Yes.
There's your partner.
As long as you're not doing it for your sexual gratification or the gratification of somebody else. You can literally throw, we've had people throw running shoes on and dudes just go jogging naked, and there's no, if she's making an effort to look at me type thing. And
I think that's what she did. She walked straight up to us. I'm sitting with my little kid. She
Right.
says, look at my body, my bare naked vagina right in front of you.
That's what she said?
No, that's what she's doing by presenting herself to us.
No, I get it. And I don't agree with it that it's okay. I'm just telling you, in Oregon, it's not a crime to do that. You can just walk around in the nude as long as you're not, it's not for a sexual
For your
manner.
information, now she has a history. It wasn't but a couple, less than a month ago that you guys were here in all
Okay.
the ways.
I need to get a record of you saying that, because when I tell my wife, she's not going to believe that. So you're saying
I can show you the ORS,
but
for
you're,
sure.
You're saying in the state of Oregon,
Mhm.
someone can walk up to your 2-year-old kid completely bare naked, and that's not a crime, even if it's on your property.
Correct. Well, so it's trespassing, but what I'm saying is there's no laws against the actual nudity portion of it.
So
So,
you can expose yourself to children in Oregon.
again, if you're not doing it for sexual gratification or the gratification of somebody else, yes, you are allowed to walk around in public naked.
It's hard to believe, because we're on private property. This is where I live, and someone just came and exposed themselves to my 2-year-old boy.
All right,
This
and-
officer's saying that it's not a crime. So any of you out there that are viewing this, please check and make sure that Oregon State revised statute says that you can expose
Thank you
yourself
for
to little
everything you
kids.
do.
Because this is unbelievable. Well, I don't even know why I bother calling you guys.
Because I'm going to do what I can to help you is what I'm trying to explain. I'm
I've
explaining
got a
that the actual...
no trespassing.
And
The
tomorrow
actual
it's going to happen
nudity-
again, and the next time, but apparently I could
So
go
we
take
can-
my clothes off and go walk up to little kids to show them my body, and that's not a problem in the state.
If you're doing it specifically to go show a child your naked body, yes, then there's the intent behind what you're doing.
And
But
her walking up to us, where I'm sitting right here with my little kid, that doesn't constitute that.
because of where you're talking about, and I'm telling you how law works on this, that's a common area where people would approach a residence. It's not in your backyard or in a private area. That's a public, your mailman, somebody who's coming to your door, anybody who's visiting would walk up this way. So her walking up and approaching you, if you say, hey, I don't want you here, and leave, and she turns around and leaves, she's not broken any law because she's approaching on a public right of way, basically like how you would approach anybody's front door. Okay.
Okay, earlier
She left when
He-
she
he
knocked
told-
on my door.
he
But
told
what
her
I'm
she had
saying
to
is we can still trespass her, and if she ever comes up here again to your door, then yes, she's going to go to jail for trespassing.
Do it.
Right?
but she could be
'Cause I've
naked
got it
on the
posted
sidewalk.
right there in that tree.
And that's fine. That's what I'm saying is, though, that is something that I could enforce. I was just trying to explain to you the nudity portion of it.
It's hard for me to believe, man. That's insane.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
believe me, we get calls for this type of stuff. Like I said, a guy running down Reed or north into 3rd Street, butt naked with running shoes.
But
it's not a crime.
Approaching children, though?
Again, there would have to be the intent. Like if it's like, I jump the fence at a school and I walk up to a playground full of kids naked, not okay. That's not going to be allowed.
Well, this is a playground. See the toys?
But somebody approaching the front of your house and there's a child, because there's a child outside, when they do that and they leave when they're told, they haven't committed a crime.
I don't know if it's the laws that we have here, or if it's you guys not having a willingness to do something about it.
It's the laws that we have here.
As far as I'm concerned, you guys are completely fucking useless pigs. This is ridiculous.
Okay.
You can go ahead and trespass, but that's insane. Imagine if I had a little girl out here and someone was bringing their penis over in front of my little kid. Are you just saying that that's fine?
I'm trying to explain to you.
Blame the laws, but I'm saying that's as far as I'm concerned.
You understand, when I'm in uniform, I don't get an opinion about what I do. I get to enforce the law. I don't get to say whether I personally believe it's right or wrong, and I don't think you're understanding
what you're doing,
that.
though, because you're interpreting her walking up to us.
No, I'm going off what you told me.
No, that's your interpretation.
Okay.
Yeah, so her walking up and approaching my little kid, that's her trying to expose herself to my little kid, but you're deciding, you, Officer
Would you like
Avery,
me to have her
deciding.
trespass from this property?
You can go ahead and do that, but then tomorrow she can walk right there and do the exact same thing with an impunity.
You're correct, because there are no
So
laws against being nude in Oregon. It's nothing to do with a personal opinion. It's everything to do with the application of the law and what I'm allowed to do in this
I
state.
find that hard to believe that if it was a man over here with his penis out, you guys would have him in cuffs right now.
Nope.
Well, I find that hard to believe, and I won't test it because I don't want to be a sex offender. But I would be a sex offender for the rest of my life if I did that. But
Do you understand when I'm talking about the intent, though?
Do you know what
right?
happened when I called 911? The lady on 911, the operator, laughed at me when I said there was a naked woman. She laughed at me.
Right.
That's the response I get from you useless fucking people. This is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever dealt with.
Well, I think if we could get to the resolution of this, I can understand your upset.
There's no resolution, though.
I
tomorrow.
completely understand being upset.
Yeah,
like I'm not telling. I have kids. I would be upset also. Okay. But what I'm telling you is there's only certain things that I can do to hold her accountable. Trespassing is one of them. Being nude and walking up to a front door of a residence, if you're in your backyard and she walks in, different. Right? That's what I'm saying. Like the law differentiates.
That's not an easement. It's not a walkway.
So it wasn't less than a month ago. She was out here naked, throwing stuff off the porch and throwing stuff out the window. So there's a record of her, and she was.
I have.
It's gonna happen again then. So there's nothing you guys can do.
Search and find. You're gonna
for the
find
nudity portion of it. There's really not.
So what has to happen is I have to move then.
So. Like I said, trespassing. She can get arrested for trespassing. If she comes up here, she can be trespassed, and she'll be arrested for that. Right?
Yeah.
Stand on the curb then.
Right there.
If you're on the curb, there's nothing you can do about that. That's what I'm telling you. Unless she's acting in a manner that is like corresponds with sexual gratification for her, or she's trying to arouse someone else. That is specifically what the law says.
Seemed like she was trying to arouse us when she came over here earlier, knocking on your door.
Yeah,
she was standing.
Do you know what her name is?
I don't know her last name. I forget. So yeah.
We're not friends.
And she's upstairs in the house right there.
This one right
okay.
here.
We'll go have a chat with her.
Sure. Yeah. She did
So.
have an ass so I don't know what happened to that. So.
She maybe a pre-trial or something. So.
Where was she?
She walked up the sidewalk.
We're sitting right here. She walked up to my child.
I'll fill you in.
Okay.
So we're gonna go have a chat with her.
All right. Cool. We'll go talk with her.
Sounds good. I'm trying to explain to them the law and like being nude and what you're explaining to me is not. Being nude doesn't constitute a crime. But he didn't want to listen to me. He said we're useless fucking pigs and he shouldn't have even called us. And I was like, oh, well, this is the Do you all live in the same unit? Or is it different units?
The three of us do.
You all three live in the same unit?
Yeah.
Which unit is that?
This is a 3-unit building, and we all live in.
So is it one address with multiple, like, okay. I'll grab the address for the trespass so I can put all the units in there and, Okay.
Just FYI, I gotta let you know I'm recording. I'll hear about something that happened. It doesn't sound like much. Do you mind chatting with me real quick?
No, I'm not going to chat with you guys.
Okay.
Why is that?
Because I just don't feel like it.
Okay. I'm going to explain something to you. Okay. Walking around naked and approaching people's front doors when they have children outside is not going to be tolerated. Okay. You're going to be trespassed from all of this property, all 3 of these units. If you go back, you will be arrested. Do you understand?
I think she understood. You know the last one.
Do we know this alley?
Guys, that road to the walk.
Or I wonder. Dispatch 024. Can you check priors? We're at 5. I believe it's going to be it's the alley, but with a female first of all. Do you disagree with me on that? Like, just being naked is
Depends on what she was doing.
exactly. She just walked up and was like, they were like, "What are you doing?" She was like, and she just left. And it's well, he's like, you could see everything, and I'm like, I understand that. Like, I would be upset too, but it's not.
Yeah, this is a simple.
How you doing, man? You live here?
Yeah.
So, are you?
Yeah.
So apparently, Rachel was naked, and she came out and walked around and went up on the front porch, and there was little kids out there and stuff. And I'm trying to explain to her that she can't, like, that's not a good idea.
I told her to go to bed because she's been up all night.
Right.
She's not in any trouble for it.
Okay,
It's
Yeah, I was trying to explain that she's going to be trespassed. If she goes back over here, she's going to be arrested. They're all very upset.
Okay. Understood. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
And just FYI, we're recording.
So,
Are you?
so what's your last name? I just need to write it down.
We're roommates now. She's my ex-wife, though. As
Okay.
of, like, years.
What's Rachel's last
Rachel's
name?
last name?
Or what's the address here?
Like, oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
what's her last name?
Good.
What's her date of birth?
Good.
So the reason why I'm asking you this is they've asked for her to be trespassed
Is
from
it-
here. This
What's her last name?
Okay.
11-8-90. There. So before we continue, are there any weapons in the apartment?
No.
That she could access right now?
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing like that. No alcohol, no weapons. No.
Okay. So she's being trespassed from this property right here. If they
Okay.
go on in front of the house where she was earlier,
Copy. That's going to be the female we're out with.
belongs to that property right there. We
Yeah.
will arrest her. And we'll
These,
take her to
yeah, this whole building, all
Okay.
3 units.
And since she's standing right there nodding her head, I believe she understood that. So, I would do your best to make sure she doesn't do that again. Her being naked, not a big deal, right? Based off what they told us, it sounds like it wasn't a crime to us. It's okay to be naked. How she was acting, though, not appropriate.
Yeah.
And with the situation,
Push it a little bit
not
further, it
appropriate.
could be a crime. So there's children walking around, so
Yep.
be considerate of your neighbors and their children.
Do you mind if I got your information, sir?
I really don't want to give it right now. I haven't done
We
anything.
have all of
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have me.
We've been here before.
somewhere.
We have it on file.
I just
Not a
need
problem,
to take
sir.
care of this.
All right, have a good day.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be like that, but I
That's
just
all right,
need
man.
to
Appreciate it. Yeah,
deal
thank
with
you.
that.
Have a
Thank
good
you
day.
guys. I appreciate
Yep.
it. Appreciate it.
So she's been trespassed. I just need to grab all your guys' info so I can put you in the trespass request for that. What was your name?
Yep.
What's your date of birth?
Yes.
He's over here.
Do you have a cell number?
Yeah. I gotta
So
say, man, the way-
we've notified her.
I already know all about the trespass. I understand how it works, but like the way things are going, and I see you guys took the blue stripe off your car, the politics and everything in this state. I'm sure you're a great guy, you're a great officer, but the way that this shit is heading, you're being so handicapped, you're being so held back that you either got to go somewhere else or find a different profession, because it's like, I feel like I need to just move away from this terrible, terrible state. Shit just seems to just get worse and worse. People stealing stuff out of my truck. I call you guys, they come out and they just shrug. What are you gonna do? You know,
It's
there's nothing you can do.
it's challenging for us because you have like getting stuff stolen out of a car in the middle of the night. Like it happens all over the city,
What it
and
is, it's the homeless. And the fact is, you can corral them, you can put them somewhere, you can tell them you can stay there, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, they're all in the same boat. They're all doing the same thing. I caught them stealing my stuff 5 different times.
mental
They come
health and legalizing drugs are the two biggest problems we have, because with the drug use and it being legal, they steal everything to go get their next fix,
I know all
and
about
we
it.
deal with it Sorry to hear that.
It's just insane. I don't want my kid to end up with the same shit.
No? Well, the fact that you care will probably help keep that from happening, right? I talk to a lot of parents that are like,
But I feel like,
you actually care about your kid,
what can
right?
I do? You know,
Yeah.
subject to the same thing tomorrow potentially. But it's what it is, I guess.
It sounds... is that we keep documenting it and she becomes a nuisance doing that? You know what I mean? Like, it gives us... It may be...
Probably.
Could be. But she'll screw up. She comes up here. You've got cameras. Like, you record her up on here. We told her, because all three of you, so she has no reason to be on this sidewalk right here, right? If it's all three of you guys, that's perfect, because that means it keeps you protected all the way out to the sidewalk. This is all part of your property, right? So if she cuts through here, anything, call us. She'll go to jail. Okay? Like, I'm serious. We will, like, I am happy to do whatever I can to help out for somebody who's causing issues for you like that. I just can't, I can't bend the law for my opinion, because like I've had calls like this before, you know, the neighbors out gardening butt naked in their front yard, and they're like, my kids can see from my house.
So I guess we'll chalk it up to a difference of opinion, because the neighbor out gardening is different than someone approaching your child. That's different. Which is what happened.
But it's not the intent to specifically, like, if your kid's out here playing and she walks up, talk to your kid naked, that's a little bit different, right? Even then, it would still be hard to prove that there was a sexual intent in it, right? She's acting in a lewd manner, props herself up on the table and is like exposing herself to a kid. 100% she's going to go to jail for that. That's a sex crime, right?
So it comes down to a slight variation in action.
It's the action. Simply being nude and walking around, or walking up to knock on somebody's door, is in and of itself is not a crime, right? If you're in your backyard and she comes through your back fence into an area where you have a reasonable expectation of privacy, and she's nude, you would be looking more like a private indecency, right? That would be against the law, just because of, that's what I'm trying to say, is the nudity and where she was doesn't make it a crime. I wouldn't like...
Talking about it more is not going to change anything.
Okay.
There's nothing...
I'm just hoping to give you some understanding of like where we're at and why we can't just arrest her for it. But the trespassing part, we can. That's something that that's an easily, like, she walks on your property, it's a automatic misdemeanor, straight to jail.
A lot of people in my generation really don't like the police, but I've always been supportive of them. And it's been hard at a few different points in time. When I was in high school, I was approached by somebody who was trying to stab me with a knife when I was at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
I got in my car and I locked the windows, and he was outside the doors with the knife. I called the police. The guy had taken off. I had his license plate, description, everything. The cops came. It was the cop, the SRO from my high school. Refused to do anything about it because the cop said that he wanted to search my car before he would further investigate my claims of crime, something like that. And to my disbelief, knowing my rights, I said no. And after that,
seems like
he laughed at
an
me, shrugged it off. No, it's because of it's complicated, but I've never had a good experience with city cops before. I'm a CHL holder, spent lots of time talking, volunteering, doing things with the sheriff's department. Never with the city cops. You guys get a bad name because you're always doing speed traps, giving people speeding tickets and stuff like that.
That's funny because
it just
depending
gets
on
worse.
the citizens you talk to, that's their number one complaint. Like when we ask the citizens what they want to see more of, they want traffic and speed enforcement because people drive crazy in this city. It upsets some people because they don't want to be caught and charged for speeding. I'll tell you, me personally, I give a lot of warnings because I'm like, hey, if it's a $100 fine for smoking heroin on the street, I'm not going to rip you for $265 for going 10 over on the Parkway. If you keep doing it, we'll have an educational conversation. There's a warning in the system. You get stopped again. It's like,
I've never
I can't
cared
keep
too much
warning.
about
But
that one because driving isn't a right, it's a privilege.
that's correct.
And personally, I've never had a problem with speeding. I've never even been pulled over.
Yeah.
So I don't care so much. But people equate, why aren't you out solving real crimes? But people are dying on the Parkway every day in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
They're dying once a week in the summer at least.
If I never go to another one again and have to pull a dead body out of a car, it'd make me real happy. But I've done that more times than I can count. So that's part of the reason we do speed enforcement too, is because I hate going to those and then having to go tell somebody's family that mom or dad's not coming home because somebody was speeding and clipped them, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Sorry for being emotional.
It's all right.
It's hard,
I completely understand the emotion. I'm trying to explain to people what I can do. Here's what I can do to help. Here's what the law allows me to do. Because I don't want to set an unreasonable expectation where I'm like, she's going to jail. And then she doesn't. And then you're like, the cop lied to me. He said she was going to jail, and that was a crime. I just try and set the expectation. So it's like, I'm going to do everything I can to help you. I want you to understand what the law allows me to do in this situation.
Just have to be careful having my kid play out here all day like normal because there's a crazy person next door. And it seems like nothing's going to change.
The best thing, get a video. Because then, if I watch the video and I'm like, that looks like she's doing something outside of just walking up to a house. You know what I mean? Turns around and like, oh, I dropped something. You know what I mean? Like anything like that. Then it goes to criminal.
What happens with crazy though? It's like, you wait until
with
the
cable
crazy snaps,
people?
and then what?
That is like the biggest conversation. Like I used to live in Eugene and worked in there. They had a side service called Cahoots that would come.
Familiar,
yeah.
Harm reduction.
Yeah. Which they were great because I had a neighbor. I live in an apartment. My neighbor next to me liked to garden at 3 a.m. naked and knock on our door, and we'd have people over and she'd try and come in our house. Cahoots would come pick her up once a week and take her in. We don't have anything like that. The state of Oregon, our mental health program is it's in pretty bad shape. So, and it shouldn't be a function of law enforcement. Like it's not a law against the law to be, mentally ill, but it falls to us because there's nobody else that can do anything with it.
A few times because I've seen her arrested a few times.
Yeah, she may come up here. Oh, okay.
Right, go ahead.
Yeah, man. It's all right. Let us know if she comes back. Please call.
And then these things happen, and that's why I've been trying to get her to nap and sleep. And so I don't know, do I call non-ER later?
Okay. Is she? Okay, so I would.
I should go to the stabilization center with you.
Not with me. No, we don't have a car. She wrecked our car.
Would she be willing to go to the stabilization center with one of us?
I don't think so. I think she just wants to be left alone, is what she's saying.
That's
right
what
now.
it seemed like to me.
She's just sitting on the bed now, and she's just yelling at me like.
Okay,
so you can also call and request CCRT, which is our mobile crisis unit.
Okay.
And there are clinicians that will come out and talk to her, and they can try and help her and get her to stabilization center if that's a good place for her, or they'll ask us to transport.
I mean, she's.
That then.
Yeah, but that's Deschutes County Mental Health. You can also just call non-emergency and ask for the mobile crisis, CCRT.
Yeah.
Okay.
That you'd like
I'll
to
give you
call
this
them
just in case. It
Okay.
has some extra numbers for mental health and other services, but yeah, she's going through something right now.
She is.
Definitely.
And then our dog just died yesterday, so she hasn't slept since then. We've had him for 10 years.
Sorry to
so
hear
it's
that, man.
in her head, like,
Yep.
everything's coming down on her right now. So.
Yeah. Get a hold. I would do it right now if you can.
Okay.
Get a hold of. You can call non-emergency, like he said. Ask for CCRT.
Okay.
I explained to him a little bit what's going on with her. Hopefully, yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully they'll call and chat, and she'll chat. Hopefully she'll chat.
Okay. She's
and-
not willing really to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
Well, they'll even, if she's safe, they'll come out to the house and sit and talk with her here in person.
Okay.
And they'll be able to help her a lot better than we can.
Okay. I'll let her know.
All right, man. Best of luck to you.